الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. So tonight inshallah we're going to do the method of wudu inshallah. So the first thing the Shaykh says وهو أن ينوي رفع الحدث. So the first thing you do when one intends wudu, when one wants to perform wudu, then the first thing you do is you need the intention for wudu. Therefore, according to most of the ulama, just water either your body parts or your wudu body parts being wet, that doesn't suffice. So you need to actually be aware that you want to perform wudu. Okay, that's according to most of the ulama. Therefore, if you just took a shower and afterwards you realize your hair is wet, your arms are wet, your feet are wet, your face is wet, do you have wudu? The answer is no. The answer is no. But when we say you have intention, then intention is a simple thing. Intention is a simple thing. Merely being aware what you want to do, merely getting up to go to the bathroom, that's wudu. That's intention. You don't need to intend this is wudu for salatul dhuhr. No, just having intention, just being aware what you're going to do, that's enough. Therefore, if you intended, let's say you intended wudu for going to sleep, because it's a sunnah to perform wudu for going to sleep, right? So you made intention for wudu, you performed wudu, you're going to sleep, then you didn't sleep, and Fajr came, and now you are still in wudu. But your intention for wudu was a sunnah. Can you now perform the fard salah with that intention? With that wudu? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. So merely getting you into the state of wudu, that's enough. That's enough. Let's give another situation. Let's say a person, thinks he's in wudu. So then he performs wudu. So then he renews his wudu. He renews his wudu. After he renewed his wudu, he realized, I wasn't in wudu. And my intention for wudu was to renew wudu, not a fresh wudu. What would we say here? Would we say he can pray the salah, the next salah with that wudu, or he needs to renew the wudu? We say he can pray the salah with that wudu. So that's with regards to intention. Intention is very simple. All you have to do is be aware you're performing wudu. So therefore just a few situations take you out of being aware of intention. Like you happen to be wet, you went for a swim, you went for a shower, or you're teaching somebody how to perform wudu. After teaching, can you then say I have wudu for salah? The answer is no, because your intention was not to perform wudu, you just wanted to show the person how to perform wudu. Okay? We can discuss the Hanafi afterwards inshallah. Okay, so then the Shaykh says, because intention is the main thing for all ibadah, right? And then after you have intention, then what do? Then you say Bismillah. You say Bismillah, that's enough. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, you don't add it in most situations. Some of the scholars allow it, but saying Bismillah is enough. Saying Bismillah is enough. Now if you're in the bathroom, can you say Bismillah? When I say bathroom, I mean there's a toilet there. Otherwise, you can say Bismillah. If there's a toilet there, then you can say Bismillah. The reason for that is because today most bathrooms are clean. The impurities are gone, even out of the building. Okay? If there happens to be impurity there, then you can say Bismillah in your heart and begin your wudu. Then you've said Bismillah. Now your first thing with wudu is washing your hands. So you wash your hands up to your wrists 3 times. And some of the scholars say you wash them together, and others say you wash the right hand first and then the left hand. Right hand first and the left hand. After that you gargle your mouth and your nose. So you can do this how? 3 options. So some of the scholars say you gargle your mouth thrice. I'll explain a few details to it, and then you rinse your nostrils thrice. So 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. And the other way to do it is you take water. You're going to do both. You're going to do both in 3 handfuls. So in this case, you do what? You take the water in your hand, you put it in your mouth, then into your nose. Right? 1 handful done. Second one, mouth, nose, then done. And your third one, mouth, nose. And if you're able to, the best way some of the scholars say, because that is the least wastage or least usage of water, is you take 1 handful of water and you can do all 6. So when you take 1 handful of water, either you can do mouth, 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 then nose, 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 or mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose. But one is very difficult. That's why some of the scholars say, in amkana al-isbagh. If you're able to do exactly what I said now with one handful, then you do one handful. Otherwise 3, and otherwise 6. Otherwise 6. So you have the options of 3 and 6. Both are fine. Some scholars say 3 is better. 3 is better, and others say 6 is better. Now when you do your nose and your mouth, the sunnah is to use your right hand. So you put water into your mouth with your right hand. You can get water into your mouth in any way, and then you spit it out, but you can swallow. You can swallow or you can spit out, right? But when it comes to gargling your mouth, the minimum gargling that you have to do for it to be achieved is not merely putting water in your mouth and spitting out. You have to swirl. You have to swirl even a little bit, then you can spit. Then you've ticked it off. A complete one is to swirl it through most of your mouth. Most of your mouth, that's the complete sunnah. It's called mubalagha. This mubalagha, you avoid it when you're fasting because you may swallow water. You may swallow water. Then when it comes to the nose, the minimum gargling of your nose or rinsing of your nostrils is to sniff a little bit inside your nose. Okay, to sniff a little bit, you've ticked it off. The complete sunnah is to sniff it to the soft tissues in your skin. So that some people, if they sniff, then if they feel something up in their nose. They've sniffed too much. You don't need to go that much. You go until the soft skin that even clears your nostrils. It even clears your nostrils. It even helps in Quran recitation because your recitation becomes clearer because your nose is open. So that's how you do it. And the final sunnah is, we said with your right hand you do your mouth, same your nose. You put water in with your right hand. You can do it in any way. Sunnah is right hand. And then you take the water out with your left hand. So most of the scholars say you take it out like this. You take it out with putting some of your fingers on the outside of your nose and taking it out. Others say you take your little finger and you put it inside your nostrils to clean it out completely. That will be with regards to the nose. Thereafter, you wash your face. You wash your face 3 times. So how would you do this? You say from a person's normal hairline, a normal hairline. A normal hairline. So if somebody is still full of hair and their hair starts a bit more closer to their forehead, you don't look at that. You don't deem that hair as being part of the head, you deem it being part of the face. And if a person is going bald and the hairline is receding, then you don't wash your face until your receding hairline. Okay? Your normal hairline until the bottom of your chin, right? And then from just before your earlobe to your other earlobe is deemed your face. So you wash your face like that 3 times. The scholars say for the face to take more water. To take more water because you have different parts in your face you want water to reach. By your eyes, between your eyes and your nose, etc. So you take more water to make it reach there. The last thing with regards to the face is there's hairs on the face. There's hairs on the face. So we'll just say in 3 types of hairs. There's hairs that you can see the skin through the hair. So through the hair you can see the skin. There you have to make sure water reaches the skin. You have to make sure water reaches the skin. Thereafter you have hair that is thick. When we say thick here, we mean hair that you can't see the skin underneath. You can't see the skin underneath. Right? The rule of this one is the same as number 3. So number 3 is you have hair that is beyond, I told you the dimensions of the face. But now if you have a beard, and now the beard is beyond the dimensions of the face I mentioned, then here, for number 2 and 3, you have to wash the outer hair. So all your hairs, your forehead, mustache, this one under the lip, eyebrows, etc. All that hair that you can't see the skin underneath, your beard that's beyond the face, you have to wash the outer. You have to wash the outer. The inside, it is sunnah to let water reach there. It's called takhleel, putting your fingers through. I'll explain it now. Beyond that, the skin beyond that, from the thick skin, it's makruh. It's makruh to make sure you don't need to go that far. So your outside, you make sure it's washed properly. Okay? All your thick hairs. You can see the skin, you must wash underneath. And then the hairs inside your thick hair. The hairs inside your thick hair, there you wet your hand. Either while washing the face or after washing the face, you can do the following. So some of the scholars say while you're washing your face, so therefore you're going to have washed your face, you'll have some moisture from your face in your hands, then immediately what you can do is, you can do any of the following ways to do takhleel. You washed your face, right? Then you can do this. You can do that. Putting your fingers like it's a comb through your beard. Another option that you can do is taking your hands like this, getting it through the hairs, not to the skin. Another option you can do is taking your hand like this from underneath to get the water into the insides of your beard. So that I said you can do it with the remainder on your face, or you can do it with water again. You can wet your hand and do it, right? So this, many of the scholars say you do it 3 times. So with each washing, you do the takhleel. And if you were to do it after you washed your face 1 time, it's okay. It's okay. So that's with regards to the face. Thereafter, you wash your arms. So from where do you wash your arms? Tip of your fingers until just beyond the elbows. That is the washing of the arm. Okay? From the tips of your fingers to the elbows. So this is fard. This is a fard. To wash from the tips of your fingers to your elbows. Right? 3 times. Right arm, left arm. Sunnah to do right body part first and then left, but you can do it in the other way. And with the washing the arm, there's a sunnah as well, and that is to pass your fingers in between each other. So you've washed your arms or your arm, and then you can pass your fingers through in any way, like this, or they say tashbik, like this. You do it like that, or any way. You get your water, you use your hand to make it like double sure that the water has gone between your fingers. So you do that right arm and left arm, right arm and left arm. So here we just digress to, I mentioned a mas'ala that is commonly found with some people on the Hanafi madhab. So what happens here is, what do? They wash their arm from the wrist to just beyond the elbow, okay? They wash from the wrist beyond the elbow. I said to wash fingertips. So the Hanafi madhab also say you wash from the fingertips. But the wudu will still be valid if you washed from the wrists, if you washed your hand before. If you wash your hand at the beginning of wudu and it's wet, then washing from your wrist to beyond your elbows would tick off the wudu. But that's because the Hanafi madhab say you don't need intention for wudu. Therefore the fact that your wrist was washed, it ticked it off. But, and this is what some of the Hanafi scholars point out, is that the reward, you need intention to get reward. So even if you didn't intend wudu and you came out and realized that you are wet correctly for wudu in the Hanafi madhab, you won't get the reward for wudu because it wasn't intended. So for reward you need intention. And the same thing here, you won't get reward for having washed your hand because you didn't wash it with your arm. You get reward for washing it at the beginning. Your arm would be valid, but there would not be reward because you didn't start from your entire arm. Your entire arm starts at your fingertips. So that's with regards to washing the arms. Then after that you wipe your head. You do a masah. So just to digress quickly, in the last lesson we mentioned those 4 steps of washing. We called them in Arabic, let's just go through them again. We called the one masah, we called it masah, and that is to take water, a wet hand or a wet cloth or something, but there's no actual presence of water. Or I explained it that you put water in your hands and then you let it go out. The remainder, then you pass it on whatever you need to wipe, that counts as wipe. The next one we called it nadh. That is to rinse or to sprinkle. And we said that's for washing the urine of a baby boy. You just need to rinse. Then we called ghasl. Ghasl is to wash. So we said water must trickle. So when I said wash in wudu, water must trickle. And number 4 we called it dalk. Dalk is where you have water trickling and you use your hand or something to make the water go to the place. So here you do masah. So here you just wet your hands. Now how do you do masah? You do masah is that you put your hands, you take new water, you put your hands under the tap and you wet them, okay? Then you take your 2 fingers, your 4 fingers and the sides of your thumb. You can take just the 2 fingers or you can take all your fingers. Both of them are mentioned in the books of fiqh. Then you take them and then from where we said the face ends, then from there your masah starts. So from a normal hairline, then you're going back with your fingers, going back all the way to the back of your head, just by your neck, and then you come back. And when you come back, you're also using the sides of your thumb by your ears. That would mean that you've done the masah like that, and then you've come back. So you've went 1 and back. One just going like that, front and back, or back and front, permissible. The complete sunnah is to do how I explained. To go front and then back, to come back. That would be the complete sunnah. The complete sunnah. فَأَقْبَلَ بِيَدَيْهِ وَأَدْبَرَ. That's what the hadith says. Okay? So then your masih is done. Your masih is done of your head. The next thing you do is you wipe your ears. So some of the scholars say, after you've done your masih, immediately you go to your ears. And others say you wet your hands again. So you take new water. You take new water. So either you wet your hands again or with the remainder from your masih afterwards. So then how do you do this? So how do you do this when it comes to your ears? You put your forefingers into your ears, like by your ears, the ear hole. Okay? So these fingers go inside, the two fingers. And then your thumbs go behind. Your thumbs go behind, right? So you're going like this. Now, the scholars say the sunnah, or in the Hanbali method, the fard, is to wipe your masih of your entire ear. Therefore, you basically angle your thumbs downwards and your sides of your forefingers downwards, and then you're going to go up like that. You're going to go up like that, and then the sides of your forefingers would have wiped your outer ear, and then the thumbs would have wiped the inner ear towards your head. So the crevices, you don't need to make sure they get wiped. There's no need to make sure they get wiped. So you take it like this and you go like that. So if you were to do it like this, you'd go like that. That's what comes in the hadith of Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam put his fingers fi simakhat udhunayh. He put his hands like that, his fingers inside, and then he went like that. So that's how you do masih for your ears, masih for your ears. Thereafter, the last thing you do when it comes to wudu is now you wash your feet. Now you wash your feet. So the right foot first and the left foot first, from the tips of your toes to just beyond the ankles, right? Right foot then left foot. The sunnah would be, again, just like with the beard and just like with the fingers, to do takhleel, and that is, how would you do takhleel of the fingers, of the toes? This is, the scholars say, you use the small finger of your left hand. So you use the small finger of your left hand, and you start the takhleel between your last two toes, your baby toe and the one that came just before it. So you'd start takhleel from your furthest right toe, going all the way to your last left toe. Does that make sense? You're going like this all the way. Okay? The sunnah is, they say, min asfalil qadam. So what do you do is from the bottom of your foot. From the bottom of your foot. With this mas'ala, I was reading some of the Hanafi books. They mention how the fuqaha saying from the bottom. So they point out the question that from the bottom, is it from underneath? How is the bottom from the takhleel? Do you start like at the base of your toe going up, or is just the bottom, meaning the bottom side? So he said it's not clear. It can go either way. So therefore, you do it from the bottom. You can do it top of your toe to the base of your toe, or base to the top. So you take your left hand, baby finger, left hand, because for your foot you use the left hand, and then you go from the bottom, and then you do takhleel like that from right to left, or you can start bottom to top, right baby toe to your left baby toe. You do like that. One more sunnah came to my mind that I forgot, and that is when it comes to gargling the mouth, there's a sunnah there, and that is using the miswak. So the miswak, you can use it before gargling the mouth, or you can use it while gargling the mouth. The Hanbali fuqaha say you use it وَالْمَاءُ فِي فِيهِ. So another option that you could do it is while the water is in your mouth and you're swirling it around, you can do the miswak. Or you can do it before, that will be fine. And that's how you do the complete wudu. I think I've covered everything there. Just the last thing, and that is the fard actions of the wudu. So most of the scholars say it has to have intention. Thereafter, from the fard, there is washing the face. You have to wash everything, all these fara'id that I'm going to mention now, which you have to wash the face. You have to wash both arms. You have to do wiping your head. You have to wipe your head. How much of your head? Here the scholars differ, with some of them saying a portion of your head, and others saying most of your head that you're able to. Meaning just a complete washing, the way I said, it would cover it one time. So therefore, if a person were to do a mess of a portion of the head, inshallah, it's valid. To do the complete sunnah would be best. The complete sunnah at least once. The last thing that you do is wash your feet, right? That's 4 sunan. There's the 4 fara'id. There's the intention. And another couple things some of the scholars add, and that is gargling your mouth and rinsing your nose. Some of the scholars say it's a fard. So it would be better to do that, but if one left it off, the wudu is fine. The wudu is fine. And then the last thing some of the scholars say, or two things, is that wudu has to be in sequence. Wudu has to be in sequence. Which one specifically? These 4 fard that I've mentioned, they should be in sequence. So you should not wash your arms before your face. You should not do masah and then your feet or and then your face. So it should be in that way. Others say this is sunnah. Others say this is sunnah. So try as much as you can in wudu to have the intention and then to do it in sequence. To do it in sequence. The last thing is that you do not have a big gap. You do not have a big gap between washing your body parts. So you have a small little gap of around 2 minutes or so, where generally in moderate temperatures, your body part won't get dry. Your body part won't get dry in moderate temperatures, not extreme heat or extreme cold. So that means if while you're performing wudu, you get, for example, you get a phone call and you stop your wudu and you speak to the person. If you've taken a minute and a half, 2 minutes, it doesn't break this aspect of wudu. You can go back and continue. But if you've spoken very long, then you have to restart your wudu. You have to restart your wudu. So with that, we've covered these masail of wudu. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to teach us that which benefits us and benefit us with that which He teaches us. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.